Hello students, today we are going to discuss about a solution of liquid in liquid. So we are going to take a liquid in a closed container so that there is only air and liquid molecules. Initially there is no vapor of the liquid above the surface. But we know that every liquid can vaporize, so that the process is called as evaporation. So the rate of evaporation is constant at a given temperature. At a given temperature, rate of evaporation is always constant. Now, initially there is no vapor. As the time proceeds, more and more molecules, they go from liquid to vapor state, so that amount of vapor goes on increasing. Now, as the vapor increases, the molecules in the vapor state move randomly in all the possible directions, and some of the molecules, they again come back to liquid state. This process is called as condensation. As we know, initially there is no vapor, means initially there is no condensation. But as the time proceeds, more and more molecules go to the vapor state, so that rate of condensation goes on increasing with time, right? So eventually we find rate of evaporation becomes equal to rate of condensation. Under that condition, under which condition? That is, rate of evaporation becomes equal to rate of condensation. Under these conditions, the amount of vapor will be in the saturated state. There is no more amount of vapor can form above the surface of liquid. It attains the saturation. Under the saturation condition or under the equilibrium condition, the vapor can exert the pressure over the surface of this liquid, and that pressure is called as vapor pressure. So what is vapor pressure? They will ask you for 1 mark. What is vapor pressure? Vapor pressure of a liquid is the pressure exerted by the vapor over the surface of liquid whenever the vapor and liquid are in equilibrium, or when there is saturation in the vapor. That is also called as saturation vapor pressure. Since we take here only pure liquid, this is called as the vapor pressure of the pure liquid, P0. Now, consider one container in which we are going to take liquid 1. So initially there will be no vapor. As the time proceeds, the rate of evaporation increases and it becomes equal to rate of condensation. It attains the saturation. Under the saturation condition, the vapor exerts the pressure on the surface of this liquid. It is called as vapor pressure of pure solvent or pure liquid 1. Similarly, we are going to take another container, a closed container, in which we are going to take liquid 2. So if we take this liquid 2, again after some time we find for this liquid also rate of evaporation becomes equal to rate of condensation. Under these conditions, the vapor attains the maximum amount, and that is saturation. Under the saturation condition, the vapor exerts the pressure on the surface of this liquid. So it is in the pure state. It is called as P0 of 2. Now, if we mix the liquid 1 with liquid 2 in another container, so we are going to take both the liquids 1 and 2, so that the molecules of 1 and 2, both of them are present at the surface. Both being volatile, the both molecules, they go into the vapor phase. One molecule as well as two molecules. 1 and 2 liquids are mixed. Now, we find, again in this case also, we find the equilibrium between the vapor state and the liquid state, or there is equilibrium between rate of evaporation and rate of condensation. So under the equilibrium condition, the vapor exerts the pressure. The vapor pressure is due to both liquid 1 and liquid 2. We find it is interesting to note that the molecules of liquid are present in the liquid state. Liquid 1 is present in the liquid state as well as in vapor state. So also liquid 2 is present in the liquid state as well as in vapor state. The mole fraction of the liquid 1 in the liquid state is x1 and that of liquid 2 is x2. Similarly, mole fraction of the liquid 1 in the vapor state is Y1. Mole fraction of the liquid 2 in the vapor state is Y2. The pressure exerted by the liquid vapor 1 over the surface of this liquid mixture, it is called as partial vapor pressure, denoted by P1. Similarly, the vapor pressure exerted by liquid 2 over the surface of this liquid 2, it is denoted by P2. It is partial vapor pressure of liquid 2. We are going to consider a binary solution containing two components 1 and 2 in a closed container. When the equilibrium is established between the vapor phase and liquid phase, as we have discussed, P1 and P2 be the partial vapor pressures of liquid 1 and 2 respectively, and their mole fractions in the solutions are x1 and x2, and in the vapor phase are y1 and y2 respectively. If P total is the total vapor pressure, then how to calculate it? So for that we are going to consider one more law, that is Raoult's law. Usually it is asked for 1 mark, statement for 1 mark, and its mathematical form it is asked for 1 mark. So altogether for 2 marks it is asked. So what it says, for a solution of volatile liquids, the partial vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction present in the solution. So we know that P1 is the partial vapor pressure. It is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution x1. We will remove the proportionality sign. So P1 is equal to P1 naught into x1. Similarly, for component 2, partial vapor pressure P2 is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution x2, or P2 is equal to P2 naught into x2, where P1 naught and P2 naught are the vapor pressures of the pure components 1 and 2 respectively at the same temperature. But according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, we know that total pressure over the solution phase in the container will be the sum of the partial vapor pressures of all the components. As it is a binary solution, so total pressure is equal to P1 plus P2, or we know that from the above equation we can write P1 naught into x1 plus P2 naught into x2. But for a binary solution, mole fraction of the one component, sum of the mole fractions of all the components is equal to 1, or the mole fraction of the first component x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. We will substitute in the equation so that P total is equal to P1 naught into 1 minus x2 plus P2 naught. So I will open the bracket, it will be P1 naught minus P1 naught into x2 plus P2 naught into x2. So x2, if at all we take it out, it is plus P2 naught minus P1 naught. So if we look at this equation, so total pressure is equal to P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into x2. So total pressure can be related to mole fraction of any one of the component. Instead of x2, we can write here x1 by substituting x2 is equal to 1 minus x1, so that we get the equation as P total is equal to P1 naught minus P2 naught into x1 plus P2 naught. So what we can conclude, total pressure is over the solution can be related to mole fraction of either x1 or x2, any one of the component. And this equation y is equal to c plus mx, right? So here c is P1 naught, in this case it is P2 naught, m is P2 minus P1 naught, here P1 minus P2 naught. So we can write, what we can say, total pressure over the solution varies linearly with mole fraction of either component 1 or with component 2. So if we plot the graph of vapor pressure against the mole fraction for a solution, this should be a linear graph. We are going to see how it varies. Okay. So first, initially we are going to take only the first component. We are going to take the first component in a container. There is no second component, so that whatever the pressure exerted, it is due to the first component only. It is in the pure state, it is P1 naught. For our convenience, we are thinking that the first component is less volatile than the second component, or vapor pressure of the first component is in its pure form is always less than that of the second component. So here at this point there is no second component, so whatever the pressure exerted, it is P1 naught. In the next point, we are going to take for the first component, we will add only a small amount of the second component, so that some of the second component molecules, they are present at the surface, so that total pressure exerted by the first vapor molecules is less than P1 naught. The point would be somewhere here. Similarly, if we go on adding the second components, its vapor pressure goes on decreasing, and finally we will reach a container where there is only the second component, no first component, so that its mole fraction is 0. If we join all this, we get a straight line. Similarly, here only second component is present. At the second point, we are taking only the second component. The mole fraction of x2 is equal to 1. It is this point. There is no first component. x1 is equal to 0. Whatever the pressure exerted, that is nothing but vapor pressure of the second component in the pure form. It is P2 naught. We have thought that second component is more volatile, so its vapor pressure is more than that of the first component. The point would be somewhere above. Now, for this, if we go on adding the first component, its vapor pressure goes on decreasing. So if we join all this, we get another straight line. We get one more straight line. The graphs for the vapor pressure of the first component is this, vapor pressure, partial vapor pressure of the second component is this graph, right? Now, what is the total pressure? Total pressure is sum of the partial vapor pressure. So at this point, if at all we consider, we have to add both of this, so we get 1 point here. At this point, P1 is less whereas P2 is more, so we get point somewhere above. If we go on joining this, if we join all this, we get another straight line. This is true only for an ideal solution. Shortly we discuss what is ideal solution. Okay, so if they ask you to draw the graph of vapor pressure against the mole fraction for an ideal solution, then for an ideal solution, how we have to draw for an ideal solution, the graph should be two straight lines, and here you should mention clearly that vapor pressure is increasing from bottom to top, mole fraction increasing in both direction. For x1 it is increasing from right to left, for x2 it is increasing from left to right. ಈ ಥರ ಇರ್ತದೆ. So you will have to draw only in both directions. Then you will have to draw straight lines. So mention clearly the first straight line, this straight line, it is for partial pressure of the second component. This straight line is for partial pressure of the first component. It is for P total. If you mention madidre, you will get 1 mark. So in the previous exam they have asked it. Okay, so if we look at this, minimum value of the total pressure is P1 naught, whereas maximum value of the total pressure is P2 naught, right? So it will be always rich in the volatile component. Equilibrium vapor pressure will be always rich in more volatile component. The composition of the vapor phase, which is in equilibrium with the solution, it is given by partial pressure is equal to y1 into P total. That is, y1 is vapor pressure of the first component in the vapor state, P2 is equal to y2 into total pressure, or in general we can write Pi is equal to yi into P total. This will be helpful for solving the problems, mainly CET problems and solve ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ this equation is helpful. Derivation is not required. Okay, so ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 1 ಅಥವಾ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ರೌಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಫಾರ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್. ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ನೀವು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ರೌಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ನಾನ್ ವೊಲಟೈಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ಯೂಟ್. ರೌಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಫಾರ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು? ದೆನ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆರ್ ದಟ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಪಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡ್ರಾ ದ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಈ ಗ್ರಾಫನ್ನು ನೀವು ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಫಾರ್ ಆ್ಯನ್ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದರಂತೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ರೌಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಾಟಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದೇ ಆಸ್ಕ್, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ either total pressure or vapor pressure of the given component in the pure form or mole fraction. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನಾರು ಒಂದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, that will be asked for 2 marks or maybe for 3 marks. Now it is interesting. According to Raoult's law, P1 is equal to P1 naught into x1, and according to Henry's law, P is equal to Kh into x. So where P1 naught is a constant, Kh is also constant. We can conclude that by comparing the two laws, partial pressure of volatile component or a gas is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. Only Kh differs from P1 naught. Thus, we can say Raoult's law becomes a special case of Henry's law in which Kh becomes equal to P1 naught. ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು? Justify. Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law.